Praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds, and peace and blessing be upon His last messenger, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his companions, and those who follow the right path. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you, and the mercy of Allah and His grace. Welcome again to Understanding Islam Ramadan. Dear beloved viewers, patience is one of the underpinning pillars of civilization and the basis for the development of individuals and societies. Patience is one of the things that we cannot avoid, whether by choice or by force. Life is full of difficult situations, from the grief ones like sickness and health problems, loss of money or property, loss of friends or loved one, etc., to the annoying and trivial ones such as delays, rush hours, long queues, bad words and gestures, etc. Each person must be patient at one time or the other, whatever the reason might be. Faithfully discharging the obligations in Ramadan enables us to enjoy patience and rise above wrong temptations and sinful desires, and be free from unhealthy craving for foods and drinks. When will you do that if you do not do it in Ramadan? Now is the best time to correct your path and change anything you do not like about yourself. This is a great chance to free yourself from the shackles of whims, desires, and yearning. Any yearning that might enslave you by getting you addicted to them. The Messenger ﷺ said about Ramadan, it is the month of patience, and the reward for patience is paradise. In another narration, the Messenger ﷺ said, Sawm or fasting is half the patience. Ramadan is the month of sabr or patience. It is a school for patience with many practical lessons and training sessions about patience. There are three types of patience. Patience while doing something, while abstaining from something, and when a problem or difficulty happens. All of these three types of patience are found in Ramadan. Number one, patience while practicing the worship and long prayers. Number two, patience while depriving the body from many permissible pleasures and while abstaining from wrong words and deeds. Also while holding back and not returning the insult or harm dealt to you. All this needs endurance. Number three, patience when facing difficulty while fasting, such as during hot days and long hours of fastings, which increases hunger and thirst. So Ramadan is indeed the month of patience. And because Sawm has all these types of patience, the rewards for it were without limits. As Allah Almighty says, those who patiently persevere will truly receive a reward without measure. Surah Az-Zumar 39, verse 10. Patience is a great human character. Islam emphasized the importance of patience in many ways. There are great rewards for being patient, and Allah the Almighty promised support and benefits for those who are patient. Allah Almighty says, O ye who believe, seek help with patient perseverance and prayers, for Allah is with those who patiently persevere. Surah Al-Baqarah 2, verse 153. Allah Almighty also promised peace and mercy for those who are patient when life difficulties face them. Allah the Almighty says, be sure we shall test you with something of fear and hunger, some loss in goods or lives, or the fruit of your toil. But give glad tidings to those who patiently persevere, who say when afflicted with calamity, to Allah we belong and to Him is our return. They are those on whom descend blessings from Allah and mercy, and they are the ones that receive guidance. Surah Al-Baqarah 2, verses 155 to 157. Dear viewers, it's time now for a short break. We'll be right back with more on Ramadan, the month of patience. See you after the break. Welcome back to Understanding Islam Ramadan. We have been discussing Ramadan, the month of patience. Dear viewers, patience is part of the religion and one of the important elements of righteousness in Islam. Allah the Almighty says in a verse about righteousness, and those who are patient in tribulation and adversity and time of stress, such are they who are sincere, such are the Allah-fearing. Surah Al-Baqarah 2, verse 177. From what we have seen so far, it is clear now that Sawm or fasting is greatly linked with patience. And Sawm is one way to attain this important moral character that Allah Almighty ordered and called for in the Holy Quran. Patience and endurance does not come from thin air. It is learned through practice and repeated training. The Messenger ﷺ said, "He who tries to show endurance, Allah would grant him the power to endure." Or, he who tries to be patient, Allah the Almighty will make him patient. Dear viewers, patience is probably the best personal ability you can have. It affects all and every aspect of our lives. The Messenger ﷺ said, "No one is blessed with a better and greater gift than patience." Umar radiallahu anhu, the famous companion of the Messenger ﷺ and the second Khalif, said, "We found the best of our lives with patience." Through the practice of patience, the fasting person learns a great deal of lessons about many forms and ways of patience. He abstains from the most pressing primal needs and learns to stop himself from wrong carnal desires and learns to control his craving and yearning. When insulted or harmed, a fasting person does not get angry and does not return the ill deed. Allah's Apostle said, "If one of you is fasting, he should avoid obscenity and quarreling. And if somebody should fight or quarrel with him, he should say, 'I am fasting.'" This is probably one of the hardest lessons and training of Ramadan, but it is an invaluable one. A true fasting person does not get agitated like some people who think of fasting as a form of deprivation or punishment. Thus, they become inflamed or furious by any little matter. Sawm and fasting teaches us punctuality and respect for times and limits. Sawm also teaches us to be resilient and develop our ability to break routines and accommodate to changes, even when those changes come to the most pressing needs. The feeling of hunger and thirst from long hours of fasting and the feeling of fatigue and tiredness from standing in lengthy prayers at night, they are all for a purpose and wisdom. They firmly establish patience and increase our endurance, thus provide us with a practical way to better ourselves in these two important abilities. These two important abilities are key for a productive and a happy life. Dear viewers, it is clear to us now that fasting has a great influence acquiring the character of patience. Patience affects our lives greatly and enables us to work harder and endure changes and pressures. Failing to be patient undermines many of the human abilities and achievements. Most human discoveries, achievements, and developments came through a great deal of patience and endurance. Sawm is also intended to promote self-development. It helps make us better and teach us self-control, self-discipline, and self-restraint. It also teaches us patience, tolerance, and endurance, and it increases our willpower. All of that prepares us for the difficulties of life. We need to teach ourselves and others about the importance of patience and self-control in Ramadan. We are supposed to struggle against our whims and desires, to control ourselves and be patient, and to reach out to help those less fortunate. Patience is useful throughout our lives. Patience helps us overcome our griefs and sorrow when we fail to attain something that we desire very much. Patience helps us overcome hopelessness when we fail to achieve a goal we set. Patience helps us overcome despair and desperation when we lose a love or a loved one. Patience helps us overcome pain and depression when we are harmed or an injustice is dealt to us. Dear viewers, Allah Almighty has chosen for us His religion, Islam, the best there is, the religion of all prophets and all messengers, peace be upon them all. Allah Almighty obligated us with things that refine our souls and polish our behaviors and benefit us in this world and in the hereafter. One of the obligations that establish this is Sawm or fasting. This is Ramadan, teaching us patience and training us to be patient. So let us get the best out of it. Let us avail this great opportunity to have outstanding moral characters and attributes that will benefit us greatly and assist us in our everyday lives. Remember, patience is one of the greatest attributes to have and one of the best type of worships. Dear viewers, we supplicate to Allah Almighty to make us patient in all aspects of our life and to grant us success in this great month and make us good for ourselves and everyone around us. Ameen. See you tomorrow again, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you and the mercy of Allah and His grace.